I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here...
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while.
In that case, I'll go order for us first.
Ooh, everything looks so good. People in Font...
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone.
You, sure have your... Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case...
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't...
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have...
Right? Yet it was because this...
Ugh. If only that...
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem... To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities... It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exists. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through. Where their watch...
Seems Paimon thought
It's all right. Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't really...
I see. So, your primary objective, which I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be...
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting in.
Well, would you consider some more, unique?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of...
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play. Don't you think?
Could you...
All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers. Don't let her go back. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as...
That might work, but that's not real...
Valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep. All right, no more joking around. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations.
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense. Why don't we give it a try after this meal?
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention.
No, it's fine. We're just about...
All right.
Is that so? If we're all finished...
Yeah, we're... Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore. Nah, that would be so... normal.
Okay. As for
Hey, Navia!
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro...
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. In any case, I wish you...
See ya!
Cannot just rely on the ocean's self-cleaning ability.
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took...
Vache.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? Are you here?
Vache?
Hey, why are you still up? Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kinda hear a voice. It's calling for... Hey, Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Vache, are you my dear Vache? No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is? Wait. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since? Yes, that is what I was once. I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water. I also remember going to many, no matter where I went. But now, we can... No! The thought of me gives him no... If you meet Vache, perhaps that is so... If only I could have comforted him. Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, it was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless heat. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how... I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think. Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vache...
Wake up! Come on, hurry! Navia's outnumbered!
Demoiselle, look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Quick, now's our chance! I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Clorand. But before I do so, could you—
I followed you. It seemed to me that
I believe that following someone without their knowledge—
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same, were he alive today.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, demoiselle. I was...
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all...
Sorry, I did not consider your feeling.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be—
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearance... Your performance tonight will all...
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest— And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage—
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful. And
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand. But if you get—
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
Right. I suppose that's the best news.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with...
I know, she's...
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were... Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us! Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got...
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. As such, we're still partners. There's
It will take 50 years.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up at...
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon can...
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake. After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of that the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors, so how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink...
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from...
Yes. So if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for...
Huh? Really?
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate, but whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger and hurried here.
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help...
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got the... Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you...
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the Traveler fainted just now. He said that he heard that Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too! But it was real faint. Does this situation... Does that mean
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad...
new intel? What?
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh. Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have... Yes, thank you. This is very... Oh, you mean you'll help...
Well, you did say that our farewell meal... And besides, we're in this now whether...
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But we'll...
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our...
It's right up ahead. But let's make sure we weren't followed first.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious.
Very good. But
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue.
Is this an answer from this world?
This is your...
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say...
Well, our funds have been a little tight. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago.
your father, he was the previous...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me...
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfake. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor, instead of standing trial.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he... At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender. 3 years later, I still don't understand why. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend. The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the...
So that's what...
That's right. However, I believe that if... I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me. And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't...
Demoiselle, please. If there is anything...
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than... Master Callus did so much good in life, yet even our supporters decreased greatly.
Wait! If Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to... People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
But how could... never mind.
There is one...
Oh! Her? Yeah. That's not the sort...
Miss Clorand has... Oh, she knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute, there was only...
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel.
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that, yes, that is our...
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right, anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards... thanks.
Yeah.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
Paimon slept, huh? Navia?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating
Wait, so you didn't...
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't...
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vache...
Does that...
No. There is one ray of hope. one place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible, and that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all the cases. If the Oceanette you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? Whew. In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we?
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the...
It's way more fun than I thought.
The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with a...
This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that...
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. I'm in contempt.
If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the...
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were...
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You...
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business.
All right, then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice...
Thanks so much.
Please come in.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Neuvillette. We only like...
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him...
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I...
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to talk?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if it was really...
Is that so? All right, then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man.
And what are you trying to say? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just... No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort.
You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all? Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia?
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep... It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express any... Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well... My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any...
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was...
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why, that thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain? Yeah, and if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained...
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're complete... All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind...
Yeah, we're gonna make...
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself? Great. Let's go then.
Whoa, what a huge ship! Why would a
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may... My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally... A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the suit. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself?
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main...
Plenty of spare more or less.
Melus, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most... You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You still remember, right, Melus?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's.
Could you tell us a bit more about...
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and...
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll as he oversaw Poisson.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation, and put...
Yes, recognizing that. The man's name was Jacques. That night, my father... But then...
Huh? How did that happen?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared... Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most... Precisely. It's all But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one... You're right. We still don't know what happened. But
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely I think this third person is probably... On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as you're in your father's our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying... Even though Spina di Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes.
If that's indeed what he wished for, Then he should have told. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect any? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think...
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been... And the serial disappearances case caused him... 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key, but as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right. So nobody would be able to get off, Scott.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried...
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look...
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful were still far preferable than losing face in front of his...
So he chose to die in silence.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for this, I'm sure he'd be extreme.
That fool. No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never... Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. Malus, what was the key evidence?
It's the location where Synth is produced. Essentially, when he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specific... But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to...
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside. But a single visit to their headquarters will be tantamount to a formal The worst case...
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine Authority?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have...
That's true. But things are different now.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought in...
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to is that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least when I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given... After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed... The first is Florent, Spina de Rasul.
Huh?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? Thanks to his... There's someone else like him, too. Marcel, the head of Confrere.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild. In the beginning,
So, they're...
Yes, you can... It's,
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina de Rasula and the guard. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report. Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are... To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right...
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the...
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided...
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit.
Aw, thank you so much, Malus.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work...
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation.
Thank you for arranging everything for us.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time.
If it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rasula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your...
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation. I know only the full truth could bring closure.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't... On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more...
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could...
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought more... So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his...
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the... Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, but even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have...
Well, things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah, Papa was a really good man.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the truth. The current state...
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is...
You really think so? That's the first time...
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Laurent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way. So...
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House? Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad... But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at...
So you also remember too?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never... Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on this.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying... But hold on. If that's what had happened, he didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, I'll tell you everything.
I understand. Then, and if I may just say, many people have laughed at me for... But it was Mr. Callis's, no matter what others might say.
Don't worry. You and all our other...
Intel is just like teachers. You gotta invest a lot before you can start over.
Hey, Thierry! It's...
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss...
Oh, so you...
Oh, okay. Hey.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say Callis did a fantastic job running the town. Building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many... It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends?
Yes. What happened at the Opera House made us realize...
Ah, if you want to go...
That'd be much appreciated.
Of course. Without them, why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get...
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of...
So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial number.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching. If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your... If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my... Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to... So I can promise you, those mecha were... They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super...
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you. Jokes aside, I'll be staying...
Hello. How may I help you?
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say...
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House.
Yes, I've never seen anything...
Oh, you were at the Opera House?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkard.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what...
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can
Oh, and...
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water.
If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit.
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the... Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet, so I was out and about the whole time making sure things were running smoothly. I didn't even have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask...
Sounds good. Just let me know if you ever... All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
We've talked to all 3 suspects, purely based on the...
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's... Anyway, even though we didn't make a...
But where should we start? Ah, you're right!
According to Jacques' family member... If I had to guess...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his...
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the Order and seek protection. Makes sense. Besides Jacques, it's obvious that our...
Do you think he...
Given everything that's happened since, but who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Florent? But...
So you're saying he's too broke to...
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able... Uncle Mercer... Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight... Thierry, you say? But...
Yeah, if the mecha...
Who could it be? You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Mars...
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these 3, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and it... The Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes. We need far more solid...
Navia, here you are.
Huh? Aren't you...
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so new?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called
What?
Yeah, we know him.
Well...
Wait, how? None of our...
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came... If the charge...
Right.
Yeah.
I understand. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Since this is... You're right. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to...
We'll help!
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Malus, Silver. When did you 2 get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving. It's our hope.
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. According to Malus's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance. Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. Ah, Navia's...
It would appear that I must repeat my question again. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind...
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason... However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel, in which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an... I've got to admit, that's one of the most... When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime...
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to
That case had nothing to do with him! You've got the... Huh? What's going on? Why is she
I told you it...
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you... But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial and if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default.
Oh, a young lady has charged... So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for...
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is... Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières!
Huh? What confrérie?
I've heard of them, but...
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging some... And if the...
Yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your... Members of the guards, please... Mr. Marcel, you will not require...
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding.
Very well. In that...
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago. To the only through elucidating what really happened in that case.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one? Come on. Why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember, both you and I only ran to the scene. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone...
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience...
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about...
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina, during the banquet, when the guests arrived at the guard's investigation the suspect did not dispute. Callus was defeated by... These are the known...
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques... in truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father... After that, the true culprit turned the...
Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, However, we should revisit the case now that we've...
The testimony of the... However, unfortunately... This assassin... A pile of... But now, since it... Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin...
So that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as what?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal.
Ah, but I think I agree.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, 1, do you have the evidence?
I'm afraid not. At least... I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes, we should be able to find... Considering the serial disappearance...
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little...
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again.
Alternatively, she's become more...
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is... Then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least...
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important... My father could have exposed... At that time, what was certain, however...
Boss once told me that...
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict had this opera? But by staying silent, I was able to become Spina. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge,
So, you mean to say...
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have... But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand...
So... During the duel, did you believe that Callus was
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonor in my line of work. I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Some were determined, others just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears they're real-
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case.
Right? What she said was
Wait, weren't they just talking about-
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. And, at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because the culprit could only time their actions so precise. Coincidentally.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal.
I won't try to refute your... On top of that, does a person have to be physical...
Know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, alas, who won't feel at least a little... But if I were to dismiss... Do you know what the big...
I suppose you're gonna...
It's timing. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action. In addition, I left... But...
I do apologize, demoiselle.
No. It's not your
Is there anything else you'd like? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friend. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable?
Seems like she got there. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely.
I think you've done a superb, but aren't you going? He wished for you to, once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong.
This isn't just about me. And the biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability. The people whose families were destroyed by many people's images. And whose image do you see? Is it a man named... Oh, so you do know.
I'm merely surprised.
I was waiting for you.
Illusion shattered! Shadows of fate!
Windblade!
Shine down!
Go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up. The water level is rising! Now we can swim to the top! But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Illusion shattered! Let me scry!
climb to oblivion!
Now the path is clear! Let's go!
With the wind!
There is no escape! Illusion shattered!
Fate is upon you!
Now you shall perish!
Though, as expected, the master... that... What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh. Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute... Huh? You mean the girls... And all the boxes of things. These names... Oh, look! There's an important-looking basin over here. And it's full of water! That means this is where they make all the sin. If you dilute it, Paimon will take... Let's see what's written. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation. Yep! It's about finding someone to assassinate. This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact content of the key information. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is... I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long... Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. and so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Whoa! There's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep! What's this over here? Looks like some kind of experiment. No, the experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just, how can someone write something that terrible and you read the rest? Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he... Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. You mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's... No, that's not it either! If that's the case, in any... We've looked at almost everything here and it's... Yeah, we haven't found anything that... No wonder even Neuvillette wasn't able to find anything. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, sure thing. You take that side and Paimon will take... Ugh. Nothing at all! And Paimon can't even find snacks either! Whoa, really? Let Paimon see! Vinier. Isn't that Vache's Then... you found her dead? Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. So many! A whole page! The final name... Marcel... Wait, but... Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Vinier's grown son?
And whose image do you see? Is it a man named... Oh. I was...
Navia! We're back!
As expected of my partner. I just...
Just how often do you intend to...
It's all right, Monsieur Neuvillette. Given their confidence...
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've all...
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already... After your lover, Vinier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vache.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera perform... And with that, Marcel's motive has
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away. Instead of so, you never noticed how we changed, or how we...
You also never understood Boss's real expectation.
Or our determination to see things.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on.
Do you really pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it... No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the... They said there's no way I... Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, you only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning up. Vignier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together, wherever she goes. But I'm not from this blasted place, so I can't be dissolved.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go! I did all of that. And in the end, that accursed Callus still... I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrict...
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! Vignier, please, Vignier.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any...
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but...
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I... The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher, and worked as an adventurer with his partner and... During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea, and was dissolved. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others, and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to cover his tracks. He invented the new alias of Marcel, and began to During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar... However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case. The oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charge. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearances case...
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and...
Yippee! We have... He's hurt so many innocent... Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely...
The day our late boss had...
Yeah. See, Papa?
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs... Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way,
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this had...
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This is always...
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this...
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, the guilty party has been... We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse... Guilty.
What?
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say... What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine...
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice...
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general...
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final... Guards, please take the suspect...
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld. Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine, all I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I don't know what happened there either.
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible.
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be... Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blind.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
However, given the stand, of course, if you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only everything he's all shall be. Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end.
So she chose to make her escape after.
So you're saying we should...
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will...
All right. After all, he... Oh, Monsieur Neuvillette! That power you showed when you took him down. Who are you?
I'm the Chief Justice of Fontaine, of course. If officers of the law lack the strength and capability to enforce it, then...
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you...
Stop resisting arrest!
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vacher? I erased all records of that name.
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? The Fountain of Lucine? Then... Please give me a chance to talk to her again.
What? Given it...
Paimon agrees! Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of super terrible things?
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my...
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to... Very well.
Your Honor.
I will go with him. You do not need...
In that case, I shall leave him in your...
Thank you. Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you...
Vacher!
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So you...
Vignier, it's me!
Vacher?
I'm here!
Hey, wait! Be careful!
Vignier, is that you? It's me, Vacher! Vignier!
Vacher? Why did you come? You look a lot older.
It's been more than 20 years. All this time, only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vignier, you are my everything. I really don't know how...
But Vacher, if you ask me, this world... If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. It's all because of your selfishness, Vash.
Wait, you are not...
You're right. I am not Vignier. I am every woman who died by your hand. As our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea. And we were no longer individuals. But I'm Cressy. I'm Lemma. The only one I am not.
Why?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her conscience... This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what... You are a liar. A heartless... The only thing you are not is Vignieres. From the moment your first victim died and her conscience...
No! Yeah! She can't hate me.
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vignieres. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache? Vache. 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 Drown.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Huh. Well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I...
Even this weather can't put a damper on the...
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon's already started to miss you.
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't treasure having a partner like me?
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia.
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and the courts in Sen. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from...
So his name's definitely been clear.
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blast... Oh, by the way, well, maybe it'd be...
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte...
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness, Secret Tales of the... To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she... Oh, and in other news...
Oh, are you two on better terms now?
While you were investigating Vache's headquarters, Clorand gave testimony on my... It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide. I wanted...
Oh, that's...
Anyway, now that the... Oh, actually, there's still one last thing I...
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth of what happened. And on top of that...
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
Sure thing.
And in that case...
Yeah, you're right. This is where my father's grave is.
Huh? There's someone there already.
Hmm?
Isn't that Dervalette? Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying... I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel...
In that case, I will stop
You really could use some pointers on In any case, why did you come to...
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be more important. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing. But Mr. Callis proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this. Mr. Callis made the choice, and in the end, from a justice that's higher than... So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callis in person. I should have noted, this regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your heart.
I'm sorry for being mad at you. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh?
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my...
Didn't I just say you do?
Ah, so Navia and Novelette seem... Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait. Paimon's never paid respects at... Huh? Oh no. Paimon hopes... Anyway, Novelette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this.
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects to her father?
Mm-hmm. We ran into Navia on the streets.
I see, I see.
Well, it's pretty...
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it...
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special...
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its sea... Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it...
Huh. So it really...
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vache discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Novelette.
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender... To be frank, that also... Is there anything else you'd like? That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of... Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right! It was Linny that told us back then.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon?
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels, and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the...
Is there anything else you... My apologies. However, I still believe the judgment of...
But...
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, The people's unified faith in the concept of justice. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also... Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this.
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to... While we do intend... If we did...
If you ask Paimon, the...
Is there... Your sibling? Another blonde-haired traveler. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to... Is there anything else you... Very well. It was my honor. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful... Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the...
All right, you've... Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.